We are on the red carpet with director Jesse Pringle with his movie Trucker.
Hashtag trucker. Yep. Thank you.
Yes, you did. All right. So tell us a little bit about that film.
Well, an awarded Army veteran returns home after the war, and he's been changed. Now his unquenched thirst for blood falls on those that travel down his roadway. Hashtag trucker.
So it's a horror film.
It is definitely a horror in genre, but
Okay.
also I love to claim it as an experimental too.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I wanted to go a lot of different directions
All
with
right.
it.
So what inspired you to do this?
Well, I'm an actor first,
Okay.
and I wanted to build my resume of character roles and character type,
Okay.
dialogue, and things like that. And so I developed this character who was a war veteran, if you will,
Yeah.
which when we grew up, it was one thing, but the different wars, the different decades, and things like that developed different veterans,
Yeah.
and so whether it be fiction or nonfiction,
Okay.
a lot of these hypothetical stories about veterans doing this or veterans doing that
Yeah.
seems to be a mystery, if you will. And so I wanted to kind of play with that aspect of it, and in the horror genre,
Okay.
which was experimental for me.
Right.
We shot it in Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
Okay.
so the environment, the architecture, everything that was around it for our sets and set design
Yeah.
was quite easy
Nice.
for the genre and the direction that we were going. So
Yeah. So was it like in the downtown Kansas City area, or like just a major like?
Well, the good thing about Kansas City is it's probably still under 2 million.
Right.
And so you can usually get anywhere within the hour.
Yeah.
I'll just say that, so we had a lot of different location options,
Nice.
but there were some turn of the 20th century industrial districts and things like that we had used to film before.
Okay.
Had some great friends in that area, and so we were able to kind of build additional relationships and have
Yeah.
sets for these productions for
Oh, no,
hashtag
that's
trucker.
great. No, that's excellent. So since it's called Trucker,
Yep.
is there a literal truck in it, like a
There
big
is.
truck, like 18-wheeler
There
truck?
is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there
okay,
is.
I'm looking
Absolutely.
forward to that, because when you have like physical objects, right, that play into the
Sure.
film, that obviously first it can be challenging depending on size and scope, but like in this scenario, I'm just like, my head is already imagining the
And
things.
thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to really see how far I could stretch my limits being a short film, being a short film budget, and still increase the production value.
Yeah.
You
No,
know what I
that's
mean?
great.
On
Oh, yeah,
a
for
small
sure.
dollar.
Yeah.
So for that, I've been a fan of a lot of different types of horror. Traditionally, I wouldn't call myself an enormous horror fan, but when artists like Rob Zombie and others started coming out with kind of that might just be messed up enough to be
Right.
real. That
Yeah.
might actually be going on somewhere.
No.
Carnival people might own a motel somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
No, so I kind of embraced that aspect of the writing for it and kind of creating that fiction of it,
Okay.
and be like, all right, let me stretch this out and see if I
that's-
can hurt
that's-
anybody's feelings.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you gotta evoke emotion, right? That's the whole point of like many films, is to do that, get people charged up or whatever. So the other thing I was gonna call out is you are also you're part of the workshop, right? One of the workshops
I
here?
am.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about what you're gonna touch on in the
Yeah,
workshop.
so it's part of the screenwriting workshop and developing the antagonist, which, hey, like I grew up watching a lot of tough guy movies. And back when those were playing, it was
Right.
always stoic shots and
Yep.
incredible frames of, character building without dialogue.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I always liked the idea of developing these characters from within, and
Yeah.
really, essentially designing a spreadsheet
Right.
for each character. And so we'll talk about, kind of the process that I've used and whether or not that can be helpful to somebody else,
All
another
right.
filmmaker. But
Well, thank you so much for sharing. And I'm assuming that you traveled here from somewhere.
I did.
Yeah. So you came from
Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City, Missouri. That is amazing. So I'm from Kansas,
Okay.
but been in Arizona 18 years. So it's nice to have people actually
Okay.
traveling.
Home team.
Yeah,
Home team.
exactly. Are you a Chiefs fan? I'm going to ask.
It's kind of hard not to be.
Right? Okay.
It's kind of hard not. When
Well,
you're
that-
winning, it's
yeah,
kind of hard
exactly.
not to be.
Right. Okay. So I had to ask because you're from Kansas. So there you go. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the red carpet. Look forward to
thanks so
seeing your
much.
film tonight and then at the workshop tomorrow.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.